So, John had a good question about ukemi, and basically you have either really two ways to do this. One, you get hit and you just take it because you're a tank. Or you kind of go with the force of the blow. The key thing though is you have to do it with a semblance of structure.
Does studying violence make you a bad person? No, it doesn't. Studying violence makes you prepared, and that's the big thing. The difference is, what do you do with that study? The ones who study violence usually the most deeply, the most intently, are not the ones who are looking to use it themselves. They're actually the ones who are looking to prevent and protect people from violence. They have to understand it better, they have to know it, they have to see it, taste it, know its colors, whatever you want to call it, better than the average person so that they can protect the average person. Because most people, they don't train. Should they? To an extent. Should everybody train to the same level? No. Some people, they want or they feel a desire to be this ethical protector and this warrior that we inculcate in the dojo, and some people, they just need just enough to keep themselves safe. And that's just the way it is. Those people who are driven and who have this desire to be these ethical protectors and these warriors, they need to study violence very deeply. So they understand it, so they can prevent it, and so that they can hopefully, in this world, eliminate it as much as possible.
Very, very. Yeah, so you don't want to remember that. Yeah.
Keep moving. Just stay safe for yourself. Because by moving so much that you can keep walking, you should.
When I first got into martial arts way back when, I was the quintessential 98-pound weakling. I was bullied and picked on most of my academic life when I was in elementary school and middle school, and I needed confidence and a way to protect myself. And now I train because it really makes me a better person. It makes me better able to be all those roles and all those hats that I have to wear in my life. I'm a father now, I've been a husband for over a decade, and training gives me the tools to be able to be that good person that I want my kids to be and that I want to be for my family. Like a lot of people who train, I don't want to ever use my training. I don't ever want to be in a situation where I have to go, great, I gotta beat this guy up. No, I don't want to do that. So thankfully, I haven't been in a lot of fights. But that being said, there's always that one time. I work in retail and I'm a manager, so occasionally I have to run the store. One evening, I was running the store and we had some individuals who were selling candy and stuff in our vestibules, which we don't allow to anybody. So I had asked them to leave, and they did. They were very polite about it. They got gone, but then about 15, 20 minutes later, I hear from some customers and from some of our employees out in the parking lot there that they're still doing the same thing outside. So me and the asset protection guy, or store security, or whatever I refer to him, we go out there and we talk to them, and they get grossly belligerent. Why are you doing this? Why are you picking on us? Why da, da, da. This was one of those times where it's like, okay, I could cave in and say, you know what, just call the cops and get you out here. But no, I decided to talk to these guys and say, look, we want, it's private property, please leave. And they decided to escalate the situation. They started shoving me, 2 hands, okay? Now, the thing about this, and that I always try and emphasize whenever I tell the story, is I never punched him back. And I didn't know why at the time. And this guy was getting really forceful. He was pushing me hard enough to actually knock me into the person behind me. But all I did was I just maintained my calm, maintained my space, and calmly told them, if you keep doing this, police are going to be called and you'll be arrested. And he kept coming and kept coming. And he started getting this really confused look on his face, like, what's going on? Finally, his friend said, you know what, it's not worth it, come on, let's go. They got in their car and they left. I was looking back at this incident and going, why didn't I swing at him? Because he was expecting it. I was looking at this guy, he's like, he was expecting me to take a poke at him. He wanted it. And at some part of me, somewhere that I didn't realize till after the fact, I knew that. And I didn't give him that satisfaction. I didn't give him what he wanted. You know, maybe he would have used it for a lawsuit, maybe he would have used it to escalate even further, pull a gun, pull a knife, whatever, I didn't know. But some part of me said, this guy wants a fight. Don't give it to him. And that really, to me, is what this training is about. It's knowing when do I have to go, okay, when do I have to go and take care of this, or when can I just go, you know what, you're not worth this. I can use just enough and just leave it at that, and it goes away. And this is the difference for this and the other styles I've studied. In the other styles, if I would have kept doing those styles, I would have had one option, and that would have been break this guy. But here, I had more options. I had that option to say, you know what, you don't need to do this. You can come as much as you want. I can deal with you without any of this conflict, any of this aggravation. And it worked. It worked out for best for both of us, the best outcome. We both walked away. No injuries.
Jim Delorto has been with me essentially since the beginning. I came back from Japan in 1998, and I met Jim the following year or the year after. So he's basically been with me the entire time. We just had our 20-year anniversary. I met Jim when he was 17 or 18, so he's essentially grown up in the dojo, and he's really become quite a guy. Jim understands this stuff in a way that I think few people do. You know, there are these complementary elements to training. There's both the very physical part of training. There's also the moral part of it. And the moral part is the stuff that makes it all matter to begin with. And Jim understands both parts of this. And not only does he understand both parts of it, he tries hard to implement this throughout his life. So the way that he trains, the way that he teaches others, all of it is essentially wrapped up in this very rooted understanding. He's got a lot more patience to teach people than I do. He didn't learn that part from me.
So, I mean, a lot of the difficulty with explaining what we do is that people have this preconceived notion of what martial arts is. You know, oh, it's that kick his ass and break his face and do all that type of stuff, or twist him up. And most of the time when people ask me what I do, it's easier for me to tell them what I don't do. I don't do it in a way that's, one, going to be damaging to me, psychologically, spiritually, however you want to call it, because I have an ethic attached to it. I'm not trying to just overpower them. There's an actual reason for it. I'm actually trying to protect something. In this case, my life, theirs, if possible, somebody else's. But also is that I don't limit myself to a particular set of technical things. I mean, for easy example, been to Japan a few times and training with Soke Hatsumi. And one class, we were training and there's this little cockroach scurrying around on the floor or some other moth or something. And during the training, at some point in time, Soke had scooped this thing up and he was holding it in his hand. So he goes to do the next technique and attacker comes in and punches and he flings this thing right into the guy's mouth. And the guy makes his face like, but at that time, he takes him and ends the conflict. That type of out-of-the-box and creative thinking is what exemplifies this art. There's no mold. There's no, I have to do it this way. It's what will work and what will do the most with the least while maintaining this ethical construct of protecting life. That's really what it's all about.